Hello. I got home from school, and since it was Friday, I was dressed up. And I hate dressing up, but I always dress up on Fridays. So, I decided that I was going to do my forensic speech. And I have to get my stuff, because even though I have it memorized, I'm not supposed to have it memorized, because Farrago is a reading speech. So, I have to read it. So, I will be doing that. I will find a spot to film it, and I will be doing everything for you. You will get the whole forensics fiasco. We all deserve a second chance, no matter what we've done in our lives. Whether we've shamed a family member, shamed ourselves, or just didn't see something coming, we deserve a second chance. In the song Three Wooden Crosses by country singer Randy Travis, we hear about one woman who shamed herself, who gets her second chance after being in a car accident with three other people. A farmer and a teacher, a hooker and a preacher, riding on a midnight bus bound for Mexico. One's headed for vacation, one for higher education, and two were searching for lost souls. That driver never saw the stop sign, and 18-wheelers can't stop on a dime. There are three wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not four of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That farmer left to harvest a home in 80 acres, the faith and love for growing things in his young son's heart. And that teacher left her wisdom in the minds of lots of children, did her best to give them all a better start. And that preacher whispered, "Can't you see the promised land?" as he laid his blood-stained Bible in that hooker's hand. That's a story that our preacher told last Sunday, as he held that blood-stained Bible up for all of us to see. He said, "Bless the farmer and the teacher and the preacher, who gave this Bible to my mama, who read it to me." There are three wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not four of them, now I guess we know. It's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. Second chances don't always have to be given out to each single individual. They can be given to an entire town. One such town in the movie We Are Marshall, based on a true story, gets their second chance after they lose their entire football team in a plane accident. Marshall versus East Carolina, November 14th, 1970. After a losing game, Marshall is heading home. "All right, boys, it's up straight, tighten those ties, fix those collars. We are," Coach says. "Marshall!" the rest of the plane answers. Coach chuckles and says, "Almost home." The intercom comes on and says, "This is Captain Detro speaking. Looks like we made good times by the weather, so if everyone could return to their seats now, we'll be landing shortly." Then, there's a loud noise, a bright light, and everything grows dark. The plane went down. No survivors. 75 people dead. Those were not welcome days. We buried sons, mothers, fathers, fiancés. Clocks ticked, but time did not pass. The sun rose and the sun set, but the shadows remained. When once there was a sound, now there was silence. What once was whole, now is shattered. Annie's voice is heard during the funerals. She lost her fiancé. Nate Ruffin, a former football player who stayed behind due to injuries, barges in on a private meeting that was going to suspend the football program, and says there was something they needed to hear. Don, the president of the committee in school, says, "If there's something you have to say, you can set up a time to come into my office." But Nate shakes his head. "Oh no, sir. I ain't got nothing to say." He pauses to point at the window. "But they do." Everyone's attention goes to the window, and it seems like the entire student body is standing right outside that building. Nate gives a signal, one arm raised, and everyone outside raises their arms and repeats, "We are Marshall!" so loud that the entire town can hear them. "It's the right thing to do, sir," Nate says to Don. Son, we do not have a team. We do not have a staff. We don't even have a damn athletic director. May he rest in peace. Frankly, son, I wouldn't know where to begin. Well, you can start with a coach, sir. They started calling coaches, but nobody took the job. They put an ad in the paper, and Jack Lingle, who lives in Worcester, picked up the phone and called to see if he could be the head coach. So Don Deadman went over there to interview him in person, and just needs to know one thing. You are the first person I've interviewed who is not an alumnus. And, well, since you called us, I have to ask you what your angle is, Jack. You've got a great setup here. You have no ties to Marshall. Why would you want this job? I mean, who in their right mind would volunteer for something? It's not an outrageous question, I think. Well, I was just wondering if you had given this any thought at all before you asked me to drive 200 miles out here to see you. A little bit, yeah, came Jack's response. Little bit? Don takes a second to think about that, and then continues by saying, well, all right then. I have a long ride home, and I should be getting on with it. You thank your wife for the lovely dinner. Okay. Jack looks at his 3 children and wife, and then turns his attention to Don, who is walking away. Say, Don? Don turns around and waits. You want to know why I picked up the phone? Is that it? Frankly, I do. Jack walks up to him and looks at him for a few seconds. Then turns his attention to his family as he answers the question. When I heard about what had happened, your situation, the only thing I could think about was the 4 of them. Thought about how much they mean about how bad it would hurt well, if I was to lose them. Then I thought about a team, and a school, and a town. That's gotta be hurting real bad. And I thought, hell, maybe I could help. So I called you. Yeah, I guess that's the only real why I got right there. And Don brought him with to be the head coach. When Marshall won their second game, playing freshman with Jack Lingle, Jack gave the ball to the most valued player, Don. When Don said he wasn't a football player, Jack said, "We're Marshall. We'll take anyone." We've heard about a woman who got her second chance after shaming herself. And we've heard about an entire town who got their second chance after a chance meeting. But what about the son who doesn't love his father like he should? The son that will take his entire inheritance before his father's even dead. This son is called the prodigal son, and his story is written in the Bible by many people, and he shares how he got his second chance. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. The younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, he began to be in need. So he went out and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him out to his field to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods for the pigs, but he couldn't. When he came to his senses, he thought, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am starving to death. I will set out and go to my father and say to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants." So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. And as the son was saying what he had planned on saying, the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now is found." Thanks for watching.